On the road to the Final Four, we join you today from Lexington, Kentucky, in action from the SEC. The number 3 team in the country, the Kentucky Wildcats, hosting the Florida Gators. I'll look at the standings in the SEC East. Kentucky 13-2. They have got the outright championship of the SEC. Florida enters action at 9-6 in the conference. And welcome to Rupp Arena, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. 1 week away from Selection Sunday. Kentucky's trying to solidify a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. It's senior day here at Rupp. But let's face it, it's been the freshmen that have really led the way for the Wildcats this season. The 1-2 punch of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins.
And John Wall can really hurt you in a number of ways. The catalyst for this team, and he can go up and down the floor, find the middle of the floor as well as any guard in the country, can create his own shot and also set the table for his big men down deep. And obviously in the half-court sets, he will be looking for Cousins all afternoon long. A big guy, a force down deep defensively, and most importantly, from Florida's standpoint, they must keep him off the offensive glass.
Pivotal game for Florida. They are squarely on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. They've got a talented freshman of their own, Kenny Boynton, but he has been inconsistent for the Gators.
But he's a competitive guy, and he is also creative in the up and down tempo and the transition game that he sets for Florida. The key for him is to be creative, get to the middle of the floor, make things happen, but more importantly, he has to make sure he makes good decisions, and even more importantly than that, he has to contain John Wall at the defensive end of the floor.
Kentucky and Florida, we've got all the action coming up for you. NCAA basketball right here on CBS. Taking on Kentucky today, and the Gators head coach, Billy Donovan, the longest tenured head coach in the SEC, now in his 14th year at the helm of this Gators program. We take a look at the starting lineups this afternoon. The young backcourt of Walker and Boynton, they struggle. 3 of 24 in a loss to Vanderbilt on Tuesday. Up front, Parsons, one of the most improved players in the SEC. Macklin, the transfer from Georgetown, and Alex Tyus playing at his natural position, power forward. For Kentucky, John Wall starts. It is senior day, so Mark Krebs, a senior, gets the start. Ramon Harris also is in the starting lineup. Up front, Perry Stevenson is a senior, and Patrick Patterson, who actually participated in the senior day festivities because he is set to graduate in May as a junior. John Calipari, he was hired on March the 31st, 2009. It didn't take him long to turn this program around, among the best teams in the country at 28-2. All-time series, Kentucky leads it with a mark of 87-32. Florida has won 8 of the last 11 meetings, but haven't won here since 2007. Mike Stewart, Anthony Jordan, Mike Eads, the officiating crew for Florida and Kentucky. Wildcats are 17-0 at home. The Rupp record is 18-0, set by the 1986 team. Florida controls the tip. We're underway. A few keys you're looking for here today, Jimmy.
I think clearly, Ian, with this disjointed lineup because of senior day, I think Florida normally would have to worry about getting off to a good start. I think it's even more important right now to get themselves some breathing room right here and take advantage of this starting lineup that the Kentucky Wildcats have out on the floor.
Boynton offers it up. In and out. Offensive rebound. It's Macklin. And Macklin will pass out of the double to Walker. Florida coming off a 64-60 loss to Vanderbilt on Tuesday night. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Gators. Kentucky takes over. And we asked John Calipari, how long will you stick with this starting 5? He said, I'll go with them as long as they can keep it going. Obviously, if we find ourselves in a hole, we're missing shots, we're not executing, then the changes will be made, and you'll see the likes of Cousins come in, and Bledsoe and Darius Miller.
And you'll see Patterson get the touches quite often, I would think, on the blocks to start.
Harris, short on a 3-ball. Tracks down the loose ball, and Kentucky's got a reset. First meeting was on January the 12th, an 89-77 win for Kentucky. Bledsoe, 25 points for the freshman. Deliberate here, Wall, outside, Patterson, he's been comfortable from long range. A 3 to open things up for the junior from Huntington, West Virginia.
You know, absolutely fabulous on the blocks, but has developed that outside shot. Kentucky has the ability now to go 2-2-1. Not looking for the real steal, but just to slow down Florida a little bit.
Boynton with a ball fake. Off the Parsons penetration, Florida could not get it going. And now Parsons will play that lead guard position. That's the versatility that Billy Donovan has with Chandler Parsons.
And it brings a big guy out, so it's much easier to deal and get the offense started.
Tyus with a spin. He's been struggling offensively last 4 games. And off the rebound, Kentucky's got it. Wall ahead for Harris. Makes a cut to the rim. And a foul call. So Harris able to get to the goal.
Well, you take a look right now, it looks like Walker with the quick little bump right there. I thought it was undetected at first, and then they were going to call a travel, but they got him right at the beginning of that play.
So it was the first contact. Point guard Irving Walker called on the foul. Kentucky with a 3-0 lead. Just about 2 minutes gone by in this first half. Florida has dropped 4 of its last 7. They have struggled at the tail end of the regular season each of the last 2 years.
The zone look to start.
Parsons extends out on Harris. Patterson now on the outside. 2-man game with Harris.
Yeah, it's a 2-3 look.
Krebs missed it for 3. This crowd would have exploded.
Yeah, when you're excited, getting your opportunity to start, shots generally go long because there's so much energy in the body.
The former walk-on from Newport, Kentucky, got a scholarship in his senior season under John Calipari. Tyus trying to set it up inside, and Macklin couldn't get it cleanly. Knocked away. Wall's pass was deflected. And off the turnover, here comes Florida. Parsons makes his move on the baseline, trying to walk the tightrope. He's out of bounds. It's another turnover, the 3rd of this first half for the Gators.
Well, trying to push and get it up the floor. Now he thinks he has an opportunity. There's the step way out on the line. He thought he was bumped. No bump, goes the other way, but a little sketchy to begin with here at both ends of the floor on the offensive side for each of these teams.
Florida with a chance to really improve their NCAA tournament resume. Patterson. Now Stevenson, the senior, gets a touch. Stevenson, the leaner. He started 34 games last year as a junior, and his role has been much abbreviated in this his senior season from Lafayette, Louisiana. 5-0 Kentucky. 5 possessions for Florida. They turned it over 3 times.
Yeah, they're just looking to get a decent look right now at the rim. See that ball go through, but there's just really, it's not really flushing through the offense for them.
Long 3, Walker missed it. And the rebound snared by Stevenson. Kentucky in transition. Krebs, a fake. Krebs, offensive foul.
You take a look down deep defensively, you're going to have guys stepping right there waiting for him. There's the step across. Krebs trying to float just a little bit to his left. Nice ball fake to get off, and that's where you want to pull up, go straight up in the air rather than leaning towards the basket.
Krebs, Division III, Thomas More College to start his career, transferred to Kentucky. It was his dream to play for the Wildcats, made it as a walk-on. 4 minutes elapsed in this first half. Florida still hasn't gotten on the board. 5-0 Wildcats. Parsons, he got bumped, and they'll count it. A chance at a 3-point play. Chandler Parsons getting the deuce. We'll get a timeout.
You get the little screens down low. They do a good job of running it, and then he finishes it off by coming through the middle of the lane, looking and concentrating, finally getting on the board for Florida.
Rewind, February 6, 2001, Florida at Kentucky, trailing 70-69. Tayshaun Prince put the Wildcats ahead, 3.3 seconds remaining. Kentucky held on to win it, 71-70, a sigh of relief for Tubby Smith. Senior Day here in Kentucky. They have won 10 of their last 11 on Senior Day at Rupp, 83-6 all time. And John Calipari sticking with the seniors right now, including Ramon Harris, Anchorage, Alaska native. Patrick Patterson, not officially a senior, but a lot of speculation that this will be his last home game for the Kentucky Wildcats, and similar speculation that this will be it for John Wall and for DeMarcus Cousins as well, as Parsons completes the 3-point play.
Well, that was the impression the local papers were given also, as they put a nice display of the 3 seniors on one side of the paper and 3 of those guys you just mentioned on the other side of the paper today.
Dan Werner and Ray Shipman have checked in for Florida. Werner is a senior from Middletown, New Jersey.
Gators switch up with a man-to-man. They were showing the zone the first couple of minutes of this game. They want to be concerned about rebounding.
Wall knocks it down. Two-pointer for John Wall.
Well, they obviously don't have to worry about that. It'll take a second to fix the net down the other end after that Wall shot.
24 points, 6 assists in a win over Georgia, 80-68 on Wednesday night.
You go behind that screen and you get tied up. He's very good at getting his shot off. One of the things, I guess, the area that he has to improve just a touch on, but he can get, Wall can get to any spot on the floor when need be.
7-3 lead for Kentucky. Parsons on the perimeter, high screen from Macklin. Trying to set it up for Macklin, but Patterson with a step in and the steal. 4th turnover. Kentucky almost gave it up.
Well, Florida at the offensive end just can't get into any type of rhythm. Another good hand play there by Patterson, deflecting the entry pass to the post.
Kentucky trying to sweep Florida for the first time since 2004. They've got a 7-3 lead, 10 to shoot. Wall, the pick and roll. Stevenson swatted down by Macklin. Shot clock is at 7. Run your brackets online for free with Bracket Manager. Invite your friends, fill out brackets, and Bracket Manager does the rest. Sign up now at cbssports.com/brackets. The seniors get a standing ovation as they head to the bench. John Calipari will send his normal starters into the game. Cousins checks in. Bledsoe in as well.
They like to look to the corner and then to the post. Doesn't take long, huh?
Yep. Cousins couldn't get the banker. Darius Miller joining the normal starting 5 on the floor. 7-3, Kentucky in front. Change for Florida. Eric Murphy has checked into the game, freshman from Rhode Island. There's Werner on the perimeter. Tyus fires. Rebounded by Murphy. Fighting on the inside. Cousins gets called for the foul.
Interesting enough just then, Ian, that he goes up, Murphy goes up straight, and then pushes that ball in between the arms of Cousins. Does it look like Cousins has his hands straight up? I thought it did initially. Let's see, he goes straight up, but then you see the contact that's created, and it really doesn't matter at that point because Murphy does a good enough job of creating that opportunity for himself.
Murphy shooting 67% from the free throw line. His dad, Jay Murphy, remember Jay from
Sure
Boston College? Excellent collegiate player and played in the NBA with the Clippers in Washington. 1 out of 2 for Murphy, and a 7-4 lead for Kentucky.
And I believe that Billy Donovan has to like the pace early on. Even though the seniors were out there for Kentucky, they haven't gotten this thing going up and down and really getting the crowd involved.
Cousins, bank shot doesn't go, but a foul called. Murphy was trying to deal with him one-on-one as Werner shaded over to help just a bit. And Murphy picks up the personal.
Murphy giving up 60-ish pounds down low. And
60-ish?
Ish, yeah. Everybody asks my weight, I always say ish at the end of it.
That covers up a lot of poundage.
How much do you weigh? I don't know, about 215-ish.
NCAA March Madness On Demand is back. Every game from the first round through the championship will be live online for free. Find out more at ncaa.com. Cousins adds to the Kentucky lead. Kentucky freshman record, 18 double-doubles for DeMarcus Cousins, the most for the Wildcats since Jim Andrews at 21 in 1973. Werner gives it up for Shipman.
Just have not been able to get anything going here. Defensively, very good pressure by Kentucky on the perimeter.
Walker tried to drive. Werner with 10 to shoot. On a skip pass. Walker gives it up. Murphy inside. He gets the roll.
Great use of the other side of the basket by Murphy just then. Nice little bounce pass to him to get it set. But that would have been swatted if he stayed on the power side, the right side.
Wall the three. Cousins thought he was held. He didn't keep the ball alive for Miller. He was held.
His arms never got over his shoulders. That's one sign that he may have gotten held. Now they're back to this zone, and Billy Donovan said yesterday, we'll go zone against it, but we have to make sure we get inside Cousins.
Patterson got a good look at it, rebounded by Murphy for Florida. Wildcats lead by 3 on the move. Tyus And a foul called. Alex Tyus got up in the air, the athletic big man from St. Louis. He got hacked.
Well, looking for selective run-out opportunities. And there's the hack. That's a good call from the officials.
And it is Wall picking up the personal.
I don't think the fans saw Wall come in as clearly as they did the first Kentucky defender go by.
Alex Tyus is going through a rough stretch. He has not scored in double figures in his last 4 games for Florida. Parsons checks back in, and now Murphy will take a seat. Boynton has returned, and Shipman is back on the bench. 1 out of 2 for Tyus, who shoots it at 70% from the free throw line.
Yeah, played out of position a little bit last year at the center spot. Here's the blocks to Cousins, and look at the collapse. 3 guys all around him.
Miller shoots over the zone. Offensive rebound, Cousins. And a whistle.
Boy, is he tough to get out of there. I mean, at 270 pounds or so, it's like moving a mountain.
Cousins at the line for 2.
Foul called on Macklin, his first. And Cousins to the free throw line, 64%.
See, one of the things they do when Cousins catches the ball out of the zone, take a look at this. You're going to have 3 guys right here circling him. But interesting enough, when he kicks the ball out, he doesn't get down on himself. He stays in that spot to look for offensive rebounding opportunities. That's why he's tough to root out of there.
A little bit of token pressure from Bledsoe with Walker bringing it across. Patterson was there to greet him as well. 10-7 Kentucky leading Florida. 12:25 to play first half. Walker defended by Bledsoe.
Nothing's going towards the basket, though. Somebody has to start putting the ball on the floor and going by people. There you go.
Walker, the leaner. That Cousins able to tip the ball to himself.
Yeah, that's just going to create opportunities for Florida. You're not going to knock them all down, but at least you're going to get better opportunities.
Bledsoe a 3. Book it. Kentucky had missed their last 5 shots from the field until that Bledsoe jumper from downtown.
Well, and John Calipari spent a lot of time at his practice yesterday saying, guys, shoot the ball correctly. Not all of them are going to go in, but you must practice correctly.
Square your body. Tyus had it blocked on the inside. Patterson there. Tyus, though, gets the baby hook.
Good finish there by Tyus, not to quit on that play also, but the bigs really collapsing down deep for Kentucky.
Kentucky had 14 block shots against Georgia on Wednesday night. But shooting has been a problem. They are 11th in the SEC in three-point shooting, 29%. Penetration from Wall. Miller fires and hits.
Well, that's the point made down at the Florida end. That one dribble through the middle of the lane by Wall, and he's so good at it. He gets guys to collapse and recognize him, and the shooters just better be ready to catch and go with it.
Boynton, a lot of dribbling. Entry pass. Tyus couldn't handle it, and it's knocked out of bounds. 5th Florida turnover. Better than 23,000 expected here today at Rupp Arena. Kentucky's got the early lead on Florida. 17 points per game, over 6 assists per game, at a Kentucky record 16 assists against Hartford. Now, let's include our studio crew here, Greg Anthony, Seth Davis, in this debate over Player of the Year candidates. Greg Anthony is more of a Turner guy. Seth is a Wall guy. Where do you fall on this issue?
I guess I can't sit on the middle of the fence on this one, but I think Wall has done it. It's been very, very close to this point. I think Wall has a little bit of an edge right now in my book because of the beginning to the end right here. But obviously this thing's going to be determined in how well these guys play. I think Wall's going to be in a better position to show more than what Turner can over the next week and a half or so.
And a tie-up. Kentucky will hold on to it as Boynton got his hands on the basketball. Billy Donovan, we talked to him about the depth of this team. That's really been an issue, especially in the backcourt, the young guys, Walker and Boynton. Stevenson, the senior, getting some extra run. And it comes off the rim, rebounded by the smallest man on the court, Walker. Running hard with Boynton, he fires and connects. A 3 for Kenny Boynton.
And one of the things that Billy Donovan mentioned again was getting down the floor when you have selective opportunities. Nice little tip and steal here by the Gators.
And lead feed. Walker will line it up. And long rebound tracked down by Cousins.
But try to get those open shots when you can, so Kentucky can't set up, and then you have troubles trying to penetrate against their big back line.
Ball movement, the extra feed, Bledsoe hanging in the air and hits. Another impressive freshman, Eric Bledsoe, lightning quick. He's got 5 points.
He had a good game and a big game against Florida earlier this year, and obviously it's a nice matchup for him. He seems comfortable.
Murphy sets the high screen. Walker uses it. Plenty of time on the shot clock for Boynton. The leaner, count it.
The last couple of trips down, Florida has seemed more comfortable, I think primarily because they got out in transition once, and then all of a sudden they believe that the ball on the floor is going to work for them a little bit.
Miller swings it inside. Cousins with the strength.
And now we're seeing Kentucky almost spreading the ball around a little bit, using their strengths. First that Bledsoe along the baseline. Now the big fella Cousins getting involved with his touches.
Murphy out high with Kentucky in front 20-14. Tyus, tough shot. Alex Tyus. Good range. Got that 10 to 12 footer. Only taken 6 3-pointers this season, hitting on 2 of them.
He's had a 15-game stretch where he's gone 14 out of 15 games in doubles, so he's very capable at scoring, just as long as he gets the good look. He created his own right there out of nothing, really.
Miller splits defenders. Bledsoe lines it up and can't get the 3 ball to go down. It's rebounded by Boynton. And Boynton loses the ball out of bounds. He was a little bit out of control, trying to rush it into the front court. Well, first matchup between these two teams, January the 12th, Bledsoe a career high 25 points in the 89-77 victory. But keep in mind, with 5 minutes to play in that game, it was tied at 72. Kentucky went on a 17-5 run to wrap that one up. Bledsoe, who he got off to such a torrid start in his freshman year. John Calipari yesterday had a team breakfast, and he showed an Eric Bledsoe highlight package from earlier in the season just to remind him what he's capable of, as Orton is fouled in the act. And then everybody on the team actually went to Calipari individually afterward and said, "Where's my highlight package?"
Well, I went to the truck and started working on my own.
What do we got?
It took me all night to find anything. I didn't get any sleep looking for any highlights of myself.
Macklin called on his second foul, and Orton goes to the free throw line where he shoots it at 51%. He's been a serviceable big man coming off the bench, another freshman. He's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And Tyus back in, has to come in to replace Macklin, who picked up number 2. th all-time meeting between Kentucky and Florida. 1 out of 2 for Orton. They have a lane violation. So another free throw coming. Florida jumped in a little too quickly. Billy Donovan, 12-17 all-time in his career against Kentucky, 3-10 at Rupp. His name obviously came up as a possible replacement not only this time around for Billy Gillespie, but last time around for Tubby Smith. Billy was an assistant under Rick Pitino at Kentucky before he took the Marshall job. 22-16 Wildcats. We will hit the 8-minute mark of this first half here at Rupp. Darnell Dodson has checked in for Kentucky. Good position. Parsons can't get the roll on the inside, and a loose ball foul is called. We step aside with 7:54 to play. First half, Kentucky leading Florida.
18.
Rejoining you here in Lexington, 22-16, Kentucky in front. A look at the game summary. 6 turnovers for the Gators. Neither team has shot it all that well, and Kentucky's got the advantage right now. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco, wrapping up the SEC regular season, SEC tournament next week in Nashville. How about the pace early on? Who is it favoring in your eyes?
I think the pace clearly favors Florida right now, but the problem is, as you just touched on, Ian, those 6 turnovers haven't allowed them to get into real good sets. But I think Billy Donovan has to be happy that Kentucky has not gone up and down the floor. They haven't got any real good transitions going in terms of their breakouts as of yet. But be careful if you're Florida, because Kentucky has a lot of power. They have a lot of transition speed, 8 minutes left or so in this first half, they could put up a blistering number of points in a hurry.
22-16 Kentucky. Patterson short on a three. It came off of Horton, out of bounds, and Werner touched it last. Boy, I thought that initially deflected off the Kentucky big man, but Werner tried to retrieve it along the baseline.
They look for the corners on their sets and then right to the blocks if they can get it.
16 field goal attempts for Kentucky so far, 9 of them threes. Spread the floor. Miller going against this zone look. They come up on 7 minutes to play in the first half. Kick out. Miller a three. Got it.
Well, once they look to that post, though, they're very effective and efficient. Miller just standing and waiting, and when you have that opportunity to catch in rhythm and shoot, you should be a much, much better shooter than having to catch it under pressure.
Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky in 2008, Darius Miller. Tyus with a force. One and done for Florida. Kentucky can bring the lead to double figures.
And this is where Florida has to be careful.
Dotson lines it up and knocks it down. It's a three.
From the sidelines, Billy Donovan's going to make sure, or try to make sure, that his team gets a good shot right here, because what he did not want to have happen is what you can hear in the background. 20,000 is getting ready to go.
Walker breaking down the defense, but he can't finish it. Out of bounds, and Florida will hold on to it.
You take a look, when you start bringing the ball into the middle of the floor, and then you don't react quick enough on the perimeter, guys will shoot over you. One of the things people think and are questioning how good Kentucky is at shooting the basketball from long range. Well, if they get them open like that and in rhythm, they're much, much better.
It's an 8-0 run for Kentucky, and the Wildcats 5 of 11 from three-point range. Right now, let's take a look at the Applebee's Ultimate Matchup 2003. Number 2 Kentucky at number 3 Florida. Kentucky pulled away in the second half, but Florida, led by Matt Bonner, cut a 14-point deficit to 66-65. 1 minute remaining. Anthony Roberson, a three at the buzzer, and Kentucky with a 69-67 victory, finished with a perfect 16-0 record in the SEC. Kentucky's only losses this season have come to South Carolina and at Tennessee last week. They have clinched their 44th all-time SEC championship, and they will be the number 1 seed in the SEC tournament. They'll play the winner of the South Carolina-Alabama game. Off the timeout, Murphy hands for Boynton. 6:25 to play in this first half. Murphy sets up in the post, turns, and blocked by Patterson. Second block for Kentucky. Bledsoe gets it ahead. Miller. Patterson lines it up. Rebound snatched by Miller and slams. Miller working the offensive glass. He gets the throwdown.
And all of a sudden, this team is explosive. As mentioned, right at the 8-minute mark, it's only taken them 2 minutes to get the rhythm going at the offensive end. Watch out.
Woo. Daniel Orton got that with the full palm. Bledsoe pull-up pop. He's fouled. It's a 10-0 run for Kentucky. And now this crowd is following this Wildcat wave.
And when you start one guy to hold down deep the position, Patterson steps across for the block. And they are very, very strong in terms of hitting the offensive glass and doing the work when they need to do it. Good work by Miller just then, finishing it off. But defensively, they're really trying to track the ball and doing a terrific job of it. Defensively, Kentucky is.
Second foul called on Walker. We asked Calipari what he liked from the Georgia game the other night, and he said there was a viciousness to the way that his team performed in the second half, and he needed to see that following that loss to Tennessee last week.
And plus, you start to grow as a team. When you know you have talent, I think he's seeing his team come together from the standpoint of each of them challenging one another to get better, rather than it always coming from the top down from the coach.
It's a 12-0 run for Kentucky.
And you can't play passively right now if you're Florida. You have to put the ball on the floor and challenge these guys, even though you've just had 2 put back on you.
Deflected, Boynton got it back, fires up a 3. And rebounded by Bledsoe, pushing tempo. In transition, Bledsoe, oh, crafty! Eric Bledsoe, the freshman, with a fantastic move to the hoop.
All finished off with a long stride at the end of that play. He's another guy, Bledsoe and Wall. Very, very smart and fast backcourt that Kentucky has, and they can really blend it and make you work in transition.
Florida has gone nearly 5 minutes without a field goal. Parsons lost it, got it back. Rejected! Patterson!
Boy, we're getting fan participation here. Balls are flying all over defensively by Kentucky. Look at this extra step, little bit of spin in the finish in the lane. Boy, and they get it going. They are tough in transition also, and they're showing us that they're pretty decent defensively with the bigs swatting shots.
Foul was called on Orton, and it sends Parsons to the free throw line where he shoots it at 67%. Some changes now with DeAndre Liggins checking in for Kentucky. Alex Tyus for Florida. Murphy will sit. And Miller gets a breather for the Wildcats. Billy Donovan told us Chandler Parsons has had as big a jump as any player he's ever had from one year to the next. He believes in his sophomore year to his junior year that Parsons has taken that necessary step that you need to see in development. He likened it to that of Joakim Noah. The difference was Noah was getting huge numbers and the team was winning on a big scale. So it seemed to be a lot more tangible to the viewer.
And he's also watching a lot more tape of himself too and other players, so that really helps.
Oh boy, Kentucky really feeling it in this first half. Dotson has gotten in on the act from the outside. Calipari was getting on him in practice yesterday for not shooting the right way, as you touched on earlier. Florida has missed its last 6 shots from the field. And Kentucky doubling up the Gators, 36-18. Out of bounds. And another Florida turnover. The Gators are out of sorts. Parsons, last year to this year, all the numbers are up for the junior from Castleberry, Florida. He's also gained weight from his freshman year to now, probably about 20 pounds. He's long and he's a swingman, but he's been a good fit for this Billy Donovan coach team.
Decent in the transition, underrated passer.
Off the entry, Warner able to crowd Orton. And tie up, possession arrow to Florida, so the Gators will get it.
Yeah, interesting enough, when you see teams that are really on the brink of getting blown out, you look at them as a collective group, right? You can just see that they don't have that bounce in their legs as much. And then when you flip to the Kentucky side and you look at their players, they have little smiles on their faces. There's confidence. It's starting to build. And that's why Florida has to find a way to play this last 4 minutes with some confidence and get a little building of the momentum back on their side for the break at the half.
There's Boynton out on the perimeter. Down to 3:40 remaining in this first half. Kentucky is shooting it at 52%. The Gators at 31%. Shot clock is winding down. Boynton able to rebound his own miss on a kick out now for Shipman. Bank shot goes and a blocking foul. Chance at a three-point play for Ray Shipman. We'll get a timeout. Florida would love to get this thing to single digits before they hit the break. It's 36-20. Some of the hot topics around the NCAA tournament, plus an AT&T Naismith watch update. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half. Tournament resume for Florida. Gators are 20-10. They're 9-6 in the SEC. You see the RPI. You're 3-7 against the RPI top 50. They're not ending the season strong, though. Those key wins came early. Michigan State, Tennessee, Mississippi State. A couple of key losses as well. If they lose here today, Jimmy, Billy Donovan's squad will be 1-8 in the last 3 games of the last 3 regular seasons. And oftentimes that's that lasting memory that you leave with the committee. Obviously, they do have the SEC tournament next week, and Florida capable of going on a run.
Right, and I think the other thing that he has to be concerned with, if he comes in here to Kentucky in the afternoon today and plays well against and competitive against the number 3 team, I don't think that loss stacks up as badly as if they get blown out here. So that's one of the key things. I mean, that's why it's important for him over the next 3 and change to get some rhythm, get back into this, as you mentioned, get it maybe to single digits, so they don't show a blowout today.
Right now it's a 15-point disparity. Wall way outside. Now it's Cousins facing Tyus. 12 to shoot. 3 minutes to play, first half. Cousins He knows how to use the glass. DeMarcus Cousins. He feels for contact with his back and then uses it to his advantage, gaining some leverage.
And I think that all is great in terms of the point, Zion, and also the footwork that he has is very, very good to complement what you just stated just then, because that's where he takes that drop step after the body and understands where he is on the floor. Terrific young skills.
No doubt. He is nimble for a big man. And some activity away from the ball, a foul.
And watch him. There's your feel, and there's the drop step. And obviously he has terrific hands. They're like vacuums. They just suck everything in around the glass.
Liggins picks up the personal. And Alex Tyus going to the free throw line. 17 foul against Kentucky. Florida has 6. Slapped out of there by Parsons. Tyus on the attack. He missed it badly.
Nice hustle.
Whoa, good lunge by Shipman and a foul called on Harris.
It's a tough call on Harris because he kind of lost his footing with some, I don't know if he got tangled up or just lost it on his own, and watch where he lands after this play. Here's the loose ball, deflection, and then all of a sudden it goes down on the floor. And I guess you got to call that a foul, huh? He's sitting on his back.
Second foul on the senior, so Harris will take a seat. And more free throws now for Florida. Shipman, 57% shooter, is at the line with his team down by 17, 2:28 to play, first half. Ray Shipman, Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida as a senior out of Miramar. Two state titles in high school, lost 20 pounds before the season. He knew he had to get into better shape after his freshman year. And he proved it in the weight room.
Well, I mean, if it's the wrong weight you're carrying around, it can be tough at this level. Enough of that weight conversation, too.
I noticed you touch on it and then move on.
I hit and run on the weight concepts.
38-23, Kentucky. We've got 2:14 left on the clock. Wall has been quiet. Ball is stripped. And a tie-up. Possession arrow to Kentucky. So the Wildcats will hold on to it. This week, Dave's all new with the good wife, Juliana Margulies, plus Jessica Simpson. And tomorrow, don't miss Kelly Ripa, followed by the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, only CBS. Patterson got it inbounds, but then lost the ball. He thought it was going to go out of bounds. Parsons able to save for Florida.
He can handle it in the open floor. Good release right there, double coming his way.
Boynton, creative. Kenny Boynton getting to the 10.
Well, they've had more success. John Calipari wants to talk about it. They have had more success getting up and down the floor in transition very quickly.
So the freshman, Kenny Boynton from Pompano Beach, Florida, trying to give Florida a jolt before we hit the break. They trail by 13. Number 3 team in the country, Kentucky, leading Florida 38-25 with 1:51 to go in this first half. Selection Sunday, 1 week away. Of course, we'll have it for you right here on CBS. Kentucky expects to be a number 1 seed, and all signs indicate they will be in the NCAA tournament. What a season they put together. This talented freshman core. Dotson, he's got it, a 3. Darnell Dotson, the junior college transfer, is a pure shooter from Greenbelt, Maryland. 8 points off the bench for Dotson.
And it's because of Wall, once again, forcing guys to come after him and try to double team him and slow him down.
Boynton finds Murphy darting towards the rim.
Great job by Murphy keeping that ball up high. Good fundamentally sound player, because that would have gotten blocked if he brought that back down.
Cousins, and it's rebounded on the interior by Shipman. Ball got deflected, and Cousins able to save for the wrong team. Murphy gets the roll and 1. Eric Murphy going to the free throw line for Florida.
Boy, Kentucky had enough guys around the glass just then down low to maybe be able to get this basketball. Yeah, you don't want to save it underneath your own basket and kick it right back in, but he puts it right by one of his teammates. It was Wall standing right there. He didn't see him. Florida takes a break, and Murphy goes to the line again. They will take that for sure.
Wall called on his second foul. 1:02 to play, first half. Murphy with 7 points off the bench. He's had an impact.
In the last 2 minutes of this, 3 minutes of the half, The Gators playing pretty good basketball, taking advantage of their breaks.
9 different Kentucky players have shot so far from the field. Nobody has more than 4 shots though. Lob and slam.
Going to go the other way though, I believe, before it.
Offensive foul. It's Bledsoe with the contact.
Great set play just then, but as a guard, what you need to do in Bledsoe, take a look at him. Here he comes off the dribble. He doesn't stop. He forgets one vital part of the play. You must stop once you drag those 2 defenders to your chest.
First foul on Bledsoe. And Cousins now heads to the Kentucky bench with 40 seconds to play in this first half. 9.5-second difference, shot clock to game clock winding down. Boynton inside the arc. He hits. Kenny Boynton playing with confidence here for Florida. He's got 9 points.
Kentucky has a chance at the last shot right here. They'll probably sit on this 10-point lead. Worst thing that can happen to them is go into the half with the 10-point lead, maybe build on it.
So it's Bledsoe taking his time, 15 seconds left. Patterson now will set a screen. Bledsoe uses it off the acceleration, trying to dish, and an offensive foul. Bledsoe looking to create, got a little bit indecisive.
Do I get to repeat myself on the same type of play just then, huh? You see the guy coming at you to step across. That's when the guard has to stop and go straight up twice now. The little bit of a leaner, out of control. Kentucky gets himself in trouble. They lose the possession.
So now Florida can hold for the final shot. 7 seconds left in the half. Gators have made their last 4 shots from the field. Boynton a 3. It rims out. A tie-up as time expired in this first half. And that's it. 1 half of play complete here in Lexington. Florida has been able to cut it to 10. It's 41-31 at the break. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York. He's standing by for AT&T at the half. Getting ready for second half action here at Rupp, Kentucky with a 41-31 lead over Florida. Welcome back courtside, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. Florida, we know, an important game considering what's at stake, the potential spot in the NCAA tournament. Even if it doesn't happen here with a victory, to have a strong showing might be enough for the committee. For Kentucky, just trying to hold on, solidify that #1 seed. Your impressions of the first half?
Well, I think Florida's making that run at the last 3 minutes really did help their cause. They're not shooting the ball from long range and haven't been doing that as of late. Kentucky, though, when they shoot 50% from the 3-point line, they're a different team. They're much stronger. They get up and down. That gives them some confidence. So you're seeing a lot of Kentucky's power, and I would anticipate in the second half that they're going to try to get up and going a little bit quicker.
All right, let's take a look at our Ford first half stats. And for Florida, 1 of 5 from 3-point territory. They did not shoot it well against Vanderbilt the other night. In fact, they went 2 of 13. Turnovers, Florida did cut down on the turnovers in the second portion of the first half. Points in the paint, Florida able to make some headway there. A 14-0 run for Kentucky. Wildcats had built an 18-point lead, but a 13-5 run for Florida at the end of the first half to cut it to 10. We are underway in the second half here in Lexington. Boynton matched up with Wall. Parsons getting a touch. Parsons trying to squeeze into the lane. Short pop, no. Macklin on a follow. Macklin was not a difference maker in the first half for Florida. Picked up 2 fouls and went to the bench.
Yeah, that's where they're going to need some offensive help. Nice defensive step around there, and here comes a layup if they hurry.
It's Boynton darting to the rim. Blocked by Bledsoe. The follow doesn't go for Walker. Macklin got tripped up. No foul called against Cousins. Tyus now will fire. Hit in the act. And Tyus is going to the free throw line. Miller called on the personal foul out on the perimeter.
Well, a little bit of a fumble caused them to get in trouble. Boynton going down, a nice extension there to get the block by Bledsoe. And then a little bit of a battle for the ball underneath the glass. The bodies start to fall all over the place again.
No, Bledsoe playing with 2 fouls, just went for it on the inside. He was the last line of defense for Kentucky and came up with an excellent defensive play. Tyus at the free throw line. So he hits on a pair. Florida within 8. We are just underway in the second half.
tempo and decisions from Florida's perspective, and how does John Wall get involved and get his teammates involved? Watch for him to put the ball on the floor from time to time and try to create in the middle of the floor. One of the best in the business at it.
He wasn't heavily involved in the first half. No. Patterson, high arcing delivery. He was fouled. And Patrick Patterson is headed to the free throw line.
And not to point on the seniors that started, Ian, but I think that took them out of their rhythm early on. It took them, and then when they all came back on the floor around the 4-minute mark or so, they started to build up a little, continuity, a little rhythm on the floor, but it took them out of it. And let's see if they can get these guys at the start of the second half working a little bit better earlier in the second half.
Third foul against Walker. Patterson now 4 points, no rebounds for Patterson, who comes in averaging nearly 8 per game. A big key, though, for Kentucky in that first half. While Wall didn't put up his usual numbers, or Cousins, you had some of the periphery players step forward, the likes of Miller and Dotson making shots from the outside for Kentucky.
Yeah, they put up a pair of 8s, 8 points each. So the complementary players, and many times when you have stars like a John Wall and Cousins on your team, you forget about the other complementary players. But if Kentucky gets them in rhythm, they're tough out.
Double-digit lead once again for Kentucky. Parsons puts it on the deck. Warner now with an entry. That ball got knocked away by Cousins, and it's out of bounds. Florida will retain it. Coming up tonight on The Amazing Race, for the first time ever, teammates will have to split up and join forces with the enemy. The Amazing Race, new episode tonight, only CBS. Shot clock is at 10. Boynton on a stutter step. Oh, that's pretty. Kenny Boynton getting to the hoop. He's got 11.
When you start that little bit of a delay and stutter step, what you hope to get is to get your defender to just stop and bend up and straighten up his knees, and that's a great time to attack.
There's Patterson, short pop. Doesn't go. Cousins couldn't grab it. Patterson does, leans in, and it comes off the rim. No good. Miller tracks it down, the offensive rebound.
One of the concerns about Billy Donovan had yesterday, keep them off the glass.
Cousins short, rebounded by Tyus. Florida down by 8 with the ball.
Cousins and Patterson so difficult, so strong to keep off that glass.
Here's Boynton, contact, it's Bledsoe, and it's number 3. As Boynton tried to turn on the outside.
Well, does Bledsoe stay right on him? I think this is a good call. He tries to go by him, doesn't step and get in front of him. You have to give Boynton some room right there to go into his cross.
So that's number 3 on Eric Bledsoe. He is forced to the bench. 9 points for the freshman. Dotson is in for Kentucky. Inside, Parsons got position. Oh, big rebound. Fans wanting an over-the-back call on Macklin. Either way, it's Kentucky ball as it leaked out for Wall. Wall cutting to the hoop, and he lays it in. That's a nifty play by Wall, finding a crease.
He is one of the best in the country at getting the ball as a guard, Ian, to the middle of the floor where he can dictate for himself or his teammates, and he is like lightning.
Boynton in and out. Rebound snared by Patterson. Off the outlet, Wall, the cut right down the middle. John Wall, he owns that part of the floor.
He sure does. As a young player, he was taught perfectly how to play this game. The middle of the floor, you can be so dangerous, and he is so quick. He's like lightning. Look at him go, and he delays himself, finishes it off. Boy, if you don't get in front of him and contain him, he's going to hurt you. A big splash by John Wall.
There are no guarantees that a team from the SEC West is going to get an NCAA tournament berth. Mississippi State may have to win a game in the quarterfinals to get themselves into the big dance.
I think this year, as much as any other year in recent history, you have the ability for teams to either work their way in or work their way out. It's still a lot of teams out there have opportunities to get in the NCAA tournament this year.
In this second half, Florida just 1 of 7 from the field. Kentucky is 2 of 5. Both were Wall cuts to the rim. And a 12-point lead for the Wildcats. Easy bucket. It's Macklin with the uncontested jam. His first 2 of the day. Vernon Macklin, the junior from Portsmouth, Virginia.
He has been playing well as of late, scoring points also, so they really need his involvement offensively.
Miller the curl, and the flip goes down for Darius Miller. Nice slash to the rim.
Good recognition by Wall also, Ian, to get rid of that ball because they did not have a clear shot.
10 points for Miller. If he scores at this rate, Kentucky's going to be a tough out in the tournament.
Well, that's those additional players that sometimes you don't really prepare for them as much as you should because you're worried about Cousins and Wall. Good deflection there.
And it's Miller getting a hand on it. Florida retains it with 14 to shoot.
Now we take a look here at the give and go opportunity for Florida. A little pass there and then this cut to the basket. And watch how he looks like he's going to lay it up, but then quickly finishes it off.
10 on the shot clock. Walker on a crossover. Macklin, they surround him, and he gives it away. Dotson scraped out of there by Werner.
Boy, good work there, just getting back defensively. Also with Shipman. Look at how they close, though. They become very tall, don't they, all of a sudden?
Tallest team in college basketball. Walker, foul called, but before the release. So it'll be taken out on the side for Florida after the timeout. 49-37, Kentucky on top of Florida. The Florida Gators were at the pinnacle of the college basketball world. Back-to-back national titles in '06. They beat UCLA in the championship game. And in 2007, they knocked off Ohio State. But since then, they have not been back to the NCAA tournament, the NIT, each of the last 2 years. We talked to Billy Donovan. He made a great point because obviously there's a lot of pressure and these current players are feeling it because of what their predecessors accomplished and the idea that the coaching staff has tried to change their focus. It's not about the NCAA tournament, at least that's what they're telling their players. It's about playing the right way. It's about not looking at the clock and hoping that it just runs out at the end of games, going out and winning games as they get a quick bucket off the timeout, well executed as Shipman gets the deuce.
Yeah, and it's true, I think, in a lot of things when you think about it. What can you control tomorrow is the message by Billy Donovan. You can't control what anybody's going to do in terms of selection Sunday, or you're in, you're out. You got to worry about Kentucky, who's starting to warm it up a little bit. The big fella going to work on the glass, Cousins. And
he's fouled on the inside off the wall miss. Cousins is going to the free throw line.
I don't know if he's going to go to the line. Is he on?
Nope. Not a shooting foul. Was called on the floor against Shipman. So Kentucky will trigger in as Werner will sit.
Once again, they look for the corners initially, and then they get the bigs down deep. Here comes the screen for Cousins.
Bledsoe back in for the Wildcats. Gives up his dribble. Wall. They lost the ball. Shipman. It's a breakaway for Florida, and Shipman goes in for the flush.
Now Murphy staying on that play and giving it up in a hurry defensively, and all of a sudden now it's going to start getting a little noisy in this building. Look, people starting to get a little edgy.
49-41. Shipman has scored 9.
Oof, not a bad screen right there. Oh, man.
Cousins unable to finish off the alley-oop feed. Walker pull up three, bottom.
Oh, what a transition type play right there. Cousins set a gigantic screen and then rolled to the hoop, but just couldn't finish it off. And all of a sudden, Florida comes roaring back with their own 7-0 run.
Florida's got 14 points in transition, including 2 right there for Shipman. The Gators are chomping their way back into it here at Rupp. Florida Gators are 20-10 this season. 5 of those 10 losses have been by 4 points or less. So Billy Donovan's team has played in a bunch of close games. They've won some close games, in fact, some buzzer beaters. This is a crucial one here today for the Gators. Now trailing 49-44. Largest lead for Kentucky has been 18. Florida has never led.
And they go to the zone again. Initially, it looks like that, and then they can match it up a bit.
Bledsoe for Cousins, driving to the hoop. Flip doesn't go, but a foul. And DeMarcus Cousins back to the line. Tomorrow on CBS, a fight over a Lord of the Rings prop leads to an epic battle of the nerds. It's a new Big Bang Theory tomorrow, only CBS. Second foul on Shipman. Cousins You've seen how outstanding he is in traffic because he's seen it all season long. Parsons back in for Florida. A lot of collapsing in on the big fella.
What you want to try to do against him, a little long on that one, what you want to try to do is position yourself so you can at least get your feet in his way.
Boynton, good drive, high off the window, rebounded by Parsons, and he lays it in on the follow.
I think that might have been Boynton on the follow-up too, Ian, to get that ball free away from Cousins. I thought he was going to snatch that one. Well, the Gators are just hanging around. They made their run here. Now let's see what they can do over the next couple of minutes to sustain it.
It's a 4-point lead for Kentucky. Just about 6 minutes elapsed in this second half. Bledsoe comes to the ball, lobs it upstairs. Cousins couldn't catch it initially. Murphy knocks it out of there, but over to Kentucky.
Ball hit the rim on the pass. That's what threw Cousins off.
Wall, pretty move, kick out. Long jump shot goes. Darius Miller stepping into a tray.
Boy, is he ever understanding and figuring out when the ball is going to come his way. He lets everybody squeeze the middle of the floor, but from a mental standpoint, he is just getting ready and chomping at the bit for a pass to him so he could shoot it.
13 for Miller. Tyus. Nice delivery along the baseline for the big man.
Job for Wall. You got to slow his containment down.
Wall rejected. Tyus, do not go in there. Walker the other way. Off the penetration, Tyus couldn't throw it down, but a foul call.
Well, that was a terrific delayed look there by Walker coming down the floor. But if you try to contain John Wall, what you need is one body right there to help out. A lot of times that player, the first one, it happens to be Murphy, doesn't get credit for the block, but he helps out, and here comes the drive down the middle of the floor. Nice effort right there by Walker, setting up the goods for Tyus.
And Tyus is now 3 of 6 at the free throw line. He is 3 of 8 from the field, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Orton checks in. Cousins sits with 2 fouls. And Kentucky with a 53-48 lead. Lincoln's in. He replaces Miller, who has played stellar basketball for John Calipari today.
And we'll see, Ian, as this game progresses. Another tough miss there. That one was halfway down. The depth of Kentucky versus the lack of depth and players on the Florida bench to see if they get worn down a little bit. You may see him switch Billy Donovan in some zone a little bit, rest his legs.
There's Patterson. He participated in the senior day activities. And with a left hand, Patrick Patterson using his big frame on the interior.
Clearly the body going to work again, just like we saw Cousins do earlier in this game. Use that body to establish yourself. It's about establishing the post initially and then being able to do what you do well in a comfort mode.
7-point lead for Kentucky. Kick out. Long 3. Walker knocks it down.
Boy, Parsons again with that dribble drive to the middle of the floor. You get a collapse, but good work there by Florida again.
Irving Walker, his second 3 of the day. He's got 6 points. 55-51 Kentucky. Bledsoe on a bounce inside for Orton. Orton over Macklin. Jump hook doesn't go. Rebounded by Parsons.
He can handle it in the open floor.
They surround Parsons. Walker splits the defense and now backs it out.
He was thinking of letting that one go, boy. He had it halfway locked.
Backdoor, it's intercepted by Patterson. And now a 2-on-1 developing. Wall feeds Bledsoe. Lays it in with the offhand.
And the timing of Wall, simple play, fundamentally sound. Give it to a guy so he can make his own decision going to the hoop.
Bledsoe, who almost signed with Florida coming out of high school, it came right down to the wire. He chose Kentucky. 57-51 Wildcats. Boynton looking to get involved. Tyus offers up a 3 and buries it.
Well, that's a big answer, too, by Tyus stepping away to shoot that shot. He shoots at about 33% from the three-point stripe. Well, one of those shots that you needed at this point in the game to quiet this crowd down a little bit and keep your rhythm if you're Florida at the offensive end.
This is the closest it's been since early in this game. 10-7 when Kentucky led it, but now Patterson gets another deuce. It's 59-54.
Well, when Orton's on the floor, they look for Patterson a little bit more frequently in the blocks. He's starting to step it up and answer.
Florida 4 of 9 from three-point territory here today. Backdoor, Macklin. He rocks the rim for the Gators. And a timeout. The Gators showing their toughness here. Well, John Calipari said it. Billy Donovan and the Florida Gators would be a desperate team. That's what he told his Kentucky squad. Don't allow their desperation to seep into the way that you play out on senior day. If Florida is giving it all they've got in this second half, they've climbed to within 3.
And so now John Calipari has to push the buttons right now to challenge his guys, to challenge one another on the floor and work as a unit.
59-56, Wildcats. Spread the floor. Liggins feeds it inside. Patterson makes his move. Knocked away. And last touch by Macklin will get a timeout with 10:34 to play. Second half here in Lexington. Kentucky holding on to a 3-point edge. Next, Kentucky with a lead over Florida last week. A loss to Tennessee, and I think it was an eye-opener for John Calipari. We spoke with him yesterday. He said he was treating this team like a veteran team. And since that loss to Tennessee, he's gotten after them in practice. He recognizes the youth, and it's during stretches where the youth and inexperience does come forward. We've seen it here today.
And that's where you need, and very important point, Ian, is that the focus of these young guys has to be so stable and crystallized, because when you have young guys, it's great because they have young legs. They can spend a lot of time on the floor. But the problem is you come across veteran teams, the young guys on the floor will start to get distracted a little bit and not group together as they normally could. So that's part of this whole building process that we need to see from Kentucky with John Calipari, and he knows it.
Now it looked like something ended up out on the court, maybe some paperwork or a magazine. So the whistle was blown with 13 left on the shot clock, 10:29 on the game clock, and John Calipari's squad up by 3. Wall, pull up pump. Off the rim, no. Rebounded by Werner.
Yeah, good job by Werner just then with the block out. That's so important for Florida down the stretch. Eliminate, if they can, or at least decrease the second opportunities for Kentucky, who is so good on the offensive glass.
This has been the good Kenny Boynton here today. Good decisions. He's played under control. Macklin one-on-one with Orton. The curl, lost it. The double team came from Patterson, and Florida gives it up.
Well, defensively, that was a terrific effort because Macklin really extends those long arms. I thought he was going to be able to get off at least a jump hook on that trip.
Liggins backs it out. Under 10 minutes to play in this second half. And Kentucky's got a 3-point advantage. Half-court set here for the Wildcats. 10 to shoot.
No Cousins on the floor. They look for Patterson.
Keep it on the perimeter. Liggins fires and rebounded by Werner.
He's got his hands full keeping Patterson away from the glass, but so far last 2 trips, pretty good job by Werner again.
Walker, the New York City point guard, trying to penetrate, and the hole clogged up. Fans are getting antsy here at Rupp.
They sure are. You can just feel it, can't you?
Parsons way outside. Walker defended by Bledsoe. The drive. Tried to dish. Walker hits the deck. Saves for Parsons. 8 to shoot.
He looked at the clock, though. He saw what he had in front of him.
Parsons a 3. No good. And the box out by Patterson.
Anytime the ball bounces from a rebound, you know somebody has done a good job of blocking out. Orton and Patterson both that time double teaming it.
Kentucky only 2 losses this season. They have not lost here at Rupp. Up and under its Wall with that extra move. A little shake and bake, and he's going to the free throw line as he's fouled by Boynton.
And a little different look from John Wall that trip. Designed to post him up on the left side, and he does a terrific job of being able to use his body as a guard to get a shot off.
6 points, 7 assists for the top point guard in the nation. Tomorrow, superstar Jennifer Lopez is about to teach Barney a lesson in love. A new How I Met Your Mother tomorrow, only CBS. Wall, an 80% free throw shooter out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And 1 out of 2, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Werner. So Kentucky will hold on to it. Extended possession for the Wildcats.
A good effort just then by the Cats, too, on the missed free throw.
Get it in for Miller, who's back on the floor for Kentucky. It's Miller, Bledsoe, Wall, Orton, and Patterson. Wall lines it up, missed it badly from three. And Walker tracks it down.
Yep, good work by Walker, not to cheat out. Make sure you come back as a guard, get the ball off the floor.
Walker, pull-up jump. Rebound to Bledsoe, pushing tempo.
Good work there by Macklin, too, helping his teammate out, Walker.
There was no angle to work with, so he backs it out for Patterson. Now it's Wall, under 8 minutes to go. Moving screen.
Yep, good call, right on it.
Third foul on the big man. 7:55 to play. It's a 4-point game. Look at the game summary with Kentucky in front, 60-56. Florida shot 40% in the first half. They are shooting 50% in the second half. They're making plays from three-point territory. It was once an 18-point lead for Kentucky. It's now a 4-point lead. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco here at Rupp Arena. Senior day, so a lot of emotion before the game. What have the Gators done to get themselves back into it?
I think their focus has been a little bit better than Kentucky's right now. They're obviously shooting the ball, so that combination will get you in better spots. But I think overall what Billy Donovan's team is realizing right now, there's a little bit more of a sense of urgency on what their path is going to be like, trying to get into the NCAA tournament and readying themselves for the SEC tournament. So that sense of urgency to me is tilted a little bit to Florida. Now, Kentucky still has a powerful team, very strong. They like the transition. We'll see if they can up-tempo the pace a little bit.
Boynton, keep it outside for Murphy after the timeout. Walker defended by Wall. The screen set. 15 to shoot. Boynton makes his move. Bledsoe is there. Boynton's jumper is off. And it's rebounded by Wall.
Not a good set right there.
Boynton is now 5 of 13. And a takeaway. Trying to get it in for Cousins.
And Macklin is doing a good job using his footwork first to kind of get around a little bit and extend himself and separate. And then he's got the long arms that's just enough to deflect the ball away.
12th turnover of the day for Kentucky. We hit 7 minutes to play in this second half. Parsons gives it up. Macklin inside, tipped in, goes down. It's Murphy on the follow. He's got 9 off the bench, the freshman.
Problems started for Kentucky just then when Cousins went and missed that steal attempt. Even in short range, Macklin was very patient to get a good shot off in traffic.
Florida has cut it to 2. Lob it inside. Cousins working on Macklin. Baby Hook doesn't go. Rebound controlled by Florida. Murphy gets it ahead. And now Walker will slow it down with 6:22 to play. And Kentucky in front 60-58. Wildcats have never trailed here today. Boynton, he got caught on a double team.
He got squeezed extremely aggressively out front just then. Here come the Kentucky fans, though, Ian, you're right. A couple of minutes ago, you said they were getting a little nervous. They're sensing it right now. They got to get this team going.
Just the third second half turnover. And a slam! Big finish for Patterson.
Well, going away from Cousins has worked for them in terms of using him as a decoy from time to time. And Patterson continues to deliver good numbers for them.
Patterson is in double figures. He's got 11. Fans coming to their feet here at Rupp.
This is where your decisions take over. Make sure your guards and handlers control the tempo.
Parsons a little fend off. Finds the open man. It's Murphy who throws it down.
Great recognition there by Parsons also. Boy, he got closed in with 2 Kentucky players, the bigs coming at him. Terrific release to answer in a hurry and put the crowd back down in their seats a little bit.
62-60. Kentucky feeding the post. Patterson. Macklin comes out.
Good pass across the top there.
Under 5 minutes to play. Wall. And a push called against Boynton. Freshman against freshman.
You got to sense the traffic coming around the corner. Terrific job just then. Murphy with the finish, with Parsons, though, setting him up and understanding where bodies are supposed to come from on the weak side defensively.
5 team fouls on Kentucky and Florida. So Kentucky will inbound it with Murphy heading to the bench. Tyus replaces him. 4:58 mark of the second half. 11 points today for Murphy. Averages just 3.5 per game.
Watch the drop down to the big. Just couldn't get it to him. He had pretty good position against Macklin.
Over the zone. Wall cans it. It's a three. 10 points for John Wall. He's got 8 assists.
He's the lift that this team needs, obviously. It's on his shoulders to make sure they run the tempo and get the points.
Parsons almost lost it. Macklin, he's tried that move a number of times. Jump hook doesn't go. Parsons the rebound.
Yeah, somebody got a takedown just then. Yeah, Kentucky has to get called for a foul right there, I think.
Question, is it a foul or a tie-up? If it's a tie-up, possession arrow is in Kentucky's favor. It's not. It's a foul.
Yep, there was a takedown.
So the third personal on Cousins will make that Miller. And the 6th team foul against Kentucky. Fans reacting. Off the inbound, slipping down, Parsons. And a turnover.
Couldn't see with all the traffic with the footwork. Billy Donovan had a pretty good look from his bench over there. Generally speaking, guys don't fall down by themselves.
What about on that occasion?
Yeah, couldn't see the footwork once again.
They might have tripped over Bledsoe's ankle.
Yeah.
Donovan pleading his case with Mike Eads to no avail.
Good thing they don't give out whistles for giveaway items here.
Here's Wall, fouled in the act. And he'll shoot 2 with 4:07 to go. Kentucky trying to build on its 5-point lead. Macklin picks up number 3 for Florida. And John Wall, an 80% free throw shooter at the line. He's 1 of 2 today.
And the thing about him, Ian, is that in the last 2-4 minutes of basketball games, he is just terrific. He's a guy who puts this team on his shoulders, and you don't see that often for young guys to do that.
But that is the difference with elite players.
Yep.
They'll step forward when it matters most. 1 out of 2 for Wall, and the lead is 6. 4 minutes to play, second half. Walker gives up his dribble.
Because guys like Wall don't consider it pressure situations. They seem to just rise to the occasion and have fun with it. That's how you really become great. There's got to be, there's a hold on the sideline there. Might be Bledsoe, huh?
It'll be 1-1 for Florida. They're in the bonus as the foul was called. We've got a timeout with 3:50 to go. Kentucky leading by 6. East Tennessee State, Winthrop, and Murray State all will be a part of the field of 65.
And Florida trying to make their run this afternoon. A competitive game is one of the things that they've needed here this afternoon. Billy Donovan knew that coming in. Bledsoe picks up his 4th, so he's going to do a little bench time with John Calipari coaching on the sidelines there.
Parsons missing at the line, 1-1. His first miss of the day, but Tyus with the offensive rebound. Florida cut it to 2, 62-60. This game has never been tied, and Florida has not had the lead. Walker can't hit the 3. Dotson unable to grab it. Parsons claims it. It's Warner giving it up. Walker offers it up. No good for 3. Spilled out. Warner goes down. Dotson goes down, and Warner picks up the loose ball foul.
Just a terrific sequence just there by both teams going after the basketball. You take a look at it, nice dive attempt, then he takes the legs out from underneath.
And the 17th foul against Florida. So 1-1 coming up for Darnell Dotson. 74% shooter. Seven-point lead.
Remember, in the first time these two teams met, it was a close game with 4 or 5 minutes left, and then Kentucky went on their run at the end of the game. Seem to be building a little momentum right now. Big possession coming the other way when Florida gets the basketball.
It was tied at 72 with 5 minutes to play. And Kentucky beat Florida 89-77 on January the 12th. Bledsoe back in. He'll play with 4 fouls. And Dotson will sit down for Kentucky. 8-point cushion for the Wildcats. Down to 3:25 remaining here in Lexington. .60 run for Kentucky. Warner. Now it's Parsons defended by Bledsoe. Too high for Boynton. And a turnover.
Just getting ready to say for Billy Donovan's squad right there, a lot of dribbling but no intent in terms of the message they were trying to send to Kentucky on that offensive possession.
12th turnover of the day for Florida. They cut down on the mistakes in the second half, but a costly one right there with 3:08 to play. And they'll go small here. Walker checks in for Tyus. Or smaller. They still have some bulk across the front line with Macklin and Werner. Wall with 11 points and 8 assists.
Well, they're showing a 2-3 zone right now. They're starting to communicate with Werner from the background there and making decisions, but they're not doing anything defensively. How's that for a breakdown? Now they're going to start. 2-3 it looks like. Yep.
10 on the shot clock.
And extended.
Wall strokes the 3, rimming out, and tracked down by Orton. Kentucky can use more clock. Very patient on the offensive end. They let the shot clock get down to 10 before they even started motion-wise.
Just don't think you want to take that clock down under 10, though, in terms of really then you're into a panic mode. Around the 15-second mark, you should go into it. There it is, the 15. They're going to wait it out a couple more seconds.
At 12, Wall makes his move. Walker there defensively. 8 to shoot. Miller steps back. He's been hot. Missed it for 3. It's rebounded by Walker. We've got 2 minutes to play.
Don't need to panic if you're Florida right now, but obviously you got to get the first good shot, put it on the floor a little bit.
Walker the drive. Swatted away by Orton.
Sometimes size matters, and right there Orton just waited it out, came across, watch him step, and time and deflect.
4th block of the day for Daniel Orton. 6th overall for Kentucky. 25 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Parsons with a long pass. Boynton's got it with 1:50 to play. Florida down by 8. Warner, driving dish. Macklin lays it in. It's a 6-point game with 1:42 remaining. And a timeout taken. Kentucky, the number 3 team in the country, trying to hold on against the Gators. Game reset. Florida and Kentucky, each team with 17 fouls, timeouts. Florida has just 1 remaining. Kentucky's got 3, and they've got the possession arrow for the final minute 42. Wildcats 68, the Gators 62. Florida considered on the bubble for the NCAA tournament. They still have the SEC tournament next week in Nashville to try to convince the tournament committee that they belong.
Cousins back on the floor.
Cousins without the headband. Again, taking their time on the offensive end. Shot clock at 14. Miller watched by Parsons. 10 to shoot. Wall against Boynton. Wall, spin move, lost the ball. He turns it over.
One spin too many.
Boynton's got it for Florida. Right down the middle. Layup. No good. Offensive foul. It's Boynton on the push.
And it's Cousins with the step in to take the charge. The big fella with timing and the reaction. You normally see the big guys go up and try to block. He tries to take the charge, stepping across, just got there in the nick of time.
Florida turns it over with 1:06 to play, and a timeout taken by Kentucky. Miller trying to get it in, and he wisely calls for time. We'll step aside. Kentucky's got a 6-point lead late stages. Reset. 2 timeouts remaining for John Calipari, 1 for Florida. Kentucky has the ball with 1:06 to play. They've got a 68-62 advantage. Kentucky all-time here at Rupp against Florida, 29-4. In fact, Florida lost its first 11 trips to this arena, which opened back in 1976.
We're going to go with yeah, you know, it's not a bad play right there. Although you don't want your good free throw shooters to be fouled, you might want to wait until one pass hits the bigs.
19 fouls against Florida, so 1-1 coming up. Walker called on his 4th, and Bledsoe at the free throw line. 69% on the season.
And Billy Donovan trying to stretch this game out and hoping for a 1 out of 2 miss is what he needs from Florida's perspective.
Bledsoe's got a nice looking stroke. You would think his percentage would be higher than it is. Second one coming. Kentucky's up by 7, just over a minute to play. Two out of 2 for Bledsoe. He's 4 of 4 on the day. And now Florida in an 8-point hole. They have to work quickly here. Warner, a crowd around him. Warner drives. Ball movement. Boynton offers up a 3. Warner knocks it over to Walker. Walker baseline drive and blocked by Cousins. That could do it. 45 seconds left. Defensive stand by Kentucky, and it looks like Florida's just going to run out of time. 41.6 remaining on the clock. More free throws coming up for Kentucky. They lead by 8.
Cousins again staying back and then going straight up. A little bit of body right there too, but it's hard to give the little guy a call on that one. And Cousins, the timing very good in the separation.
Five players in double figures for Kentucky here today. Miller knocks down the free throw. He's the high man with 14. You've got Bledsoe with 13. Wall and Patterson 11 apiece, and Dotson off the bench with 10. Miller splits a pair. It's a 9-point game with 36 seconds remaining. A 9-2 run for Kentucky. Warner outside. Parsons and Florida wasting too much time as a foul is called on Cousins. Parsons will go to the free throw line.
That was on Cousins. That's his 3rd and the team's 8th.
Number 3 on Cousins, 8th team foul against the Wildcats. We've got 29 seconds remaining. Parsons now with 8 points, 4 of 5 from the line. Don't forget, Missouri Valley Championship. Chance to go on to the NCAA tournament. Coming up here on CBS, Wichita State and Northern Iowa.
Pretty straightforward from this point on for Florida. The catch comes in, you try to double very quickly, and then you go for the foul. There you go, you have no choice there, not even a double team.
The foul is on Boynton.
Boynton with the personal, stops the clock with 27 seconds left, and Bledsoe back to the line.
Bledsoe at the line for 2.
Well, for John Calipari, ending the season with a couple of victories over Georgia and what appears to be a win over Florida before heading to the SEC tournament. And no matter what happens in that SEC tournament, I think Kentucky's going to get a number 1 seed at 29-2, 14-2 in the SEC. Bledsoe off the rim. Meanwhile, for Florida, they had won 3 in a row. Wins over Auburn, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Suffered back-to-back losses at Georgia and at Vanderbilt, which was a crusher. They had opportunities against the Commodores. And a loss here will put them at 20-11 and 9-7 in conference play. Walker goes end-to-end, and he gets the roll. Final timeout called by Florida with 22.9 remaining. 72-66, Kentucky. Gators are out of timeouts. Kentucky is in the double bonus. And Kentucky has the basketball with a 72-66 lead over Florida. 22.9 left on the clock.
You play it out, obviously. It doesn't look good, and John Calipari's understanding that, where in terms of what they're going to do, they're going to set their team up so the good shooting free throw shooters catch the basketball from a Kentucky perspective. Florida doesn't have any choice but the foul to try to just stop the clock and hope they get a little bit of a prayer, a couple of missed free throws to give them some type of opportunity. That's all they can do in terms of stretching the clock.
John Calipari told us, hey, this is the youngest team I've ever coached. I've had to make some adjustments along the way, but they're very good kids. He's enjoyed the experience. And the question will be, NCAA tournament time, big moments, will they be able to handle it? They go for the steal against Wall, and finally the foul is called with 17.7 left on the clock. Wall will go to the line.
Wall and Bledsoe, the two receivers just then. The bigs were down the floor that side, but you knew they were going to vacate the area because they do not want Patterson or Cousins catching the basketball for the easy foul.
You're not going to look at the box score and be wowed by the numbers of John Wall, but late in the game his fingerprints were all over this one, taking over in certain situations. But he misses on the first free throw, which leaves the door open right now for Florida. 17.7 remaining. Whoa, missed them both.
Need a prayer to go here.
15 seconds left. Walker, it was blocked by Cousins on the outside. Patterson's got it with 9.4 and a foul called. Walker could not get a clean look. They had bigs on the perimeter.
Right, one pass away from getting a shot off just then when the big came out, like you said, and really reacted quickly and understanding the situation. They have a tendency, Cousins steps up, tendency to swallow you up. They're so big, they're so long, they're young, but they can really react, and it was a terrific reaction. A little dangerous from Cousins, but he made sure he stayed away.
Irving Walker, 5'8", 171 pounds from Brooklyn, New York, could not get that shot off. Patterson, who came very close to signing with Florida coming out of high school, will seal it for Kentucky. Final seconds. Parsons is fouled with 5.1. And it will be Cousins picking up the personal. 8 points, 9 rebounds for Cousins here today. And Parsons with an opportunity to pad his stats. He's got 9 points. Well, for Florida, it'll be all about the SEC tournament.
Absolutely.
Can they impress the NCAA and get into the big dance? Walker missed it at the horn. A perfect 18-0 at Rupp Arena this season for John Calipari and the Kentucky Wildcats. They defeat Florida 74-66, the final. For Jim Spadarkle, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Lexington. Coming up next, the Missouri Valley Conference Championship. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, the home of the men's NCAA Basketball Championship.